America.
And I'm Karen, and we're both entrepreneurs, much to our surprise.
Shock. No shock.
So, what do you think about being an entrepreneur?
So I think it's really weird for two reasons. Number one, I come from a family that nobody worked for anybody else. You know, it was those days that everybody had
So
their
you
own.
were born to this.
So I was born to this, and I specifically rejected it because I saw that it's really hard, right? I mean, you have to do everything yourself. Your fortunes rise and fall on both your work and how well you're doing. And I said, no, I think I'll work for a big institution with a regular paycheck. And then here we are. And the joys of it are enormous, but I was right. It's really hard.
Well, my parents worked for the government, and then I became a lawyer in a big law firm, and I knew nothing about being an entrepreneur. and neither of us started down this path with exactly that in mind.
No.
We had a mission. Luster is a mission-driven enterprise, but we began to realize that part of that was entrepreneurial because we needed to make sure women were on the map in the economy as well as everywhere else. So we decided to try to become entrepreneurs, and it certainly has been a choppy journey.
But then just pause on that for a second. You know, I always forget how long and hard we thought about whether we were going to be a nonprofit or a profit-making.
A try to make profits.
Yeah, yes. A try to make profit. We don't make a profit, but try to make profit enterprise. So just talk a little bit about that. Remind me what we thought.
Well, first of all, we didn't think women were a group that required to be a nonprofit enterprise, which sort of suggests that gifts, as opposed to being players in the economic system. We thought older women have all these assets, and they should be very valuable in the world and in the economy specifically. And we do, as a demographic, although not every one of us, we do spend money. And we thought it was odd that very few images of us showed us in the way we thought we were, which is active and mobile and intelligent and doing interesting things. And we thought that was a negative for our demographic. So we said, wait a minute, we want to be part of the normal economy so that you will understand we're still here. We're not some people who need help. We just need to be seen.
Right. And then we found the good things that we found about being an entrepreneur is you actually got total control over your life in some ways.
That part was splendid.
That part was splendid. So you could decide to do something or not do something, right? That part is just wonderful. You could talk a lot. You could talk as much as you wanted there was no outside influence to say you have to decide by then or you have to do this by then. You could just decide yes or no, and then you'd move on. And we rarely, we argue a lot, but we don't
argue.
We do argue, but we always end up coming to something we both agree with. But what are the negatives?
The negatives are, last I could tell, there's no paycheck, which is discouraging. We haven't the faintest idea what we're doing most of the time, which is interesting. And thankfully, we have a lot of young people helping us figure out what we're doing. But we have not yet cracked the code of how you build a successful business. But we are on the way.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. We
have made huge mistakes.
Yes,
we have made huge mistakes along the way because we had no idea, honestly, how to run a business. We could run a practice,
right,
but we couldn't run a business. And running a business is just totally different. And
also, when there's two people running the business, you get to do all the great decision making you spoke about. You got to do all the grunt work.
You got to do it all. You've got to do from the bookkeeping to the typing to the whole 9 yards. So finding the photograph, the whole thing is yours to do, right?
But for us, it's been a great adventure.
We've learned a lot.
We
have learned a lot. We have made a lot of mistakes. I think the biggest mistakes we've made is that when we're very good at knowing what we don't know. right?
There's a lot of that, yes.
But we get dazzled, or we used to at least get bedazzled by people that seem to know a lot more than we did about a subject. And instead of really saying, is it really, I mean, yes, they know more than us, but is that really a good fit for us? We didn't we were just so happy that somebody wanted to work with us. We kind of said, oh, that's fine. So we made a lot of wrong turns along the
But
way.
now we're on a good course, and we hope you join us at luster.net.
LUSTRE.